honestly, I think we should start with story time. What do you think?
It's a great place to start. In fact, with so many great stories to be told, why not start there?
That's true. There's so many great stories, but there's one story that I'm going to pull out of this special book. It's called What Not to Do. It's a really interesting story, and it actually got played out recently. It's a really good story. It was made a live action story just recently, and I think people are going to really enjoy story time today because I think it's going to shed new light on this story. So, yeah, we're going to come out and play. And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and of course, this is Sureshot, and we are going to start today with story time. Now, the reason for that, the reason for that is I actually didn't even think about the Padme event. Padme. I don't know why I always say Padme. She needs to Padme. She needs to Padme. But no, I don't know why I didn't think about Padme. But apparently, yeah, her event's going on my free to play account. And I was like, well, I can't get her. And then I was like, wait, I have bugs. That might work. So we're gonna try. We're gonna see what we can get. Christopher says, let's discuss cheating in story mode. Story time. Be careful, Warrior. You might get banned.
Is there a mode for that? Yeah, if not, we'll find one. In fact, I think somebody has found one.
Okay, so we're going to get into story time. We're going to have some fun. Hat back. Well, by the way, guys, the irony of this. What? All right. So we are going to do a little bit of story time. So there once was a community not far from here who had a problem with break-ins at a local community center. Now, this community had a bunch of community centers. They were all plagued with break-ins. It was really terrible. And people constantly broke in and stole stuff. Now, the cops knew about it, and the cops tried to bust everyone, but, there's more people breaking in than cops. And it was a real difficult situation. Not optimal, but they were doing their best to capture everybody. Now, the community center changed the locks because they kept getting broke into, and they even put in some new security measures, such as some lights and some motion sensors. But obviously, the new security measures aren't as good as they probably should be, but they're trying, right?
The security cameras weren't full high definition.
Yep, and I think the debate can rage on about whether they need to dump a ton of information or resources into fixing this problem. And I think everyone agrees, but the cops are fully aware of these break-ins. And so the cops are aware and they're doing what they can. But again, like last night, there were 6 break-ins at the community centers alone last night. Well, there's this superhero. In the community who, for the last 2 months, has been breaking into this community center and stealing stuff. Now, he's not stealing stuff for himself. He's doing it selflessly. What he wants to do is he wants to prove to the community that the side door isn't locked well enough and that you can get in really easily with the side door. Now, he's not going to show you how to turn the knob.
Not for personal
gain. No, but he did live stream YouTube it out to the world and potential other criminals in our community how to break into the community center and steal for free. Yeah. So, he did that for 2 months to prove that this community center is not secure. Well, the community center knows they're not that secure. They're trying to evolve, but the cheaters are getting smarter and smarter, aka the thieves are getting smarter and smarter, and they just keep breaking in. And to make matters worse, the police, who know about this also, who want to keep it under wraps so it doesn't become a bigger problem, are overburdened. They're backlogged with phone calls of how many communities that have these break-ins that they've got to go and try and resolve. The backlog is getting worse and worse and worse, and it's just terrible. Well, when this community member, this upright and upstanding community member wanted to make it public, they broke in for 2 months to prove their point and stole from this community center. Not for their own gain, though. Yeah. And then he published how to do it. Not exactly. He said, well, the side door is unlocked. Didn't show him exactly, but the searches for that went up by 1,000% the day he published his video. So we could say that possibly that maybe his video had something to do with the influx in recent thefts. Now, if this story,
if you're a hero, that you couldn't do that for personal gain.
Yeah.
No, there's no way you're doing that. You're doing this for the benefit of the community.
Now, if you are listening to the story and saying, this sounds awfully familiar, and the guy stealing doesn't sound like a hero, he sounds like kind of someone who may be doing more harm than good to the community center, the law enforcement who are trying, and maybe he's doing it for maybe his own personal gain. I don't know. You might be onto something because story time comes out of this last week's issue. Now, before everybody gets up in arms and unsubscribes to me, which I fully expect people to unsubscribe for me, and I'm okay with that because if they're not willing to listen to the other side of a conversation, then they have no business being subscribed to me because
this just might not be the channel for you.
Yeah, this just might not be the channel for you. But I am in no way saying that I agree with Capital Games and their handling of the situation. But I'm also not saying
things so well all the time anyways, right? I mean, you've had personal firsthand experience about how well they listen to both sides of things and, see the full story as a broad as opposed to just angry. Ban.
So, long story short, this whole situation, you guys, first off, there's more than one situation, right? There's more than one thing we need to talk about. The first is that there is the situation at hand, which is the cheating. The second is there's the situation at hand, which is the pushing it out to everybody and trying to make everyone hyper aware of it, including future potential cheaters, when you're using the virtue signaling that people don't know about it, when in reality, everyone who should know about it knows about it and is trying hard to prevent it in the future. And then there's the consequences that came from it, and the consequences, what do they look like and are they righteous or not? So there's a lot of different things. This is all gray and muddled. And so the first stance, which is him making a video, do you agree with it or not? I disagree with his video wholeheartedly. I also disagree with McMull making a video perpetuating the existing problem as well. Now, second, is there a problem that CG needs to fix? 100% yes. Are they aware of it? 100% yes. Did the videos need to be made public for them to be aware of it? 100% no. They already knew. Will there be future cheaters that explode out of this? Unequivocally, yes. So it's only going to exacerbate the existing problem that's already known. So using the scenario that you're going to help by making a problem worse is kind of like saying, I'm going to put that fire out. I'm just going to throw some gasoline on it. It should go out. Is kind of a bad way of approaching it.
Gasoline,
yep.
See what happens, yeah.
Then the third topic is how Capital Games handled the topics. Now, they have the right legally to ban the videos, so I was okay with that. Not necessarily agree with it, but I was okay with it because, again, I feel like that was exacerbating the problem, and they have every right to do that. Do I agree with the ban on Bulldog's account? I agree because he admitted to cheating for over 2 months with a ban, but other cheaters in the past, I know, they set a precedence of people getting banned for a month, and then they're allowed to come back in. It kind of like trust me. Now, to be fair, Capital Games before Grand Arena did put out a video, or not a video, but a forum post that said they will have a strict zero tolerance policy and they will kick everyone out for life who get caught cheating. And the reason for that is because it is so egregious. And they do have logs and they do have detection tools, and they are backlogged more than anybody has any idea. They are definitely going to have to do something about it. They have been trying to do something about it. They are definitely more backlogged than they maybe should be. I think there's going to have to be additional resources put into that. That's for them to figure out for the health of the game, because I love the game. I want the game to continue. But we didn't make it easier for them to fix it. We actually made it more difficult for them to fix this. And so agree with a ban for like a month. I'm not so hip on them lifetime banning Bulldog because of this. It was a bad decision on his part, I think, in my opinion, and I've explained why I feel that way. But I understand why he virtue signaled and said he did it, because he feels it's a problem. I have to assume he's a good-willed man, and he was desperately trying to bring to light something he, in his mind, thought it hadn't been brought to light. Now, Mobile Gamers made a video about it. I've made videos about it. Like, people have made videos about it in the past. The difference is he made it much, much clearer how to. He didn't give a step-by-step instructional, but it was close enough. And so that's the issue.
Here's how you do it.
Yep. And so, they banned him, and a 30-day ban, whatever, 28-day ban, whatever, but a lifetime ban, not so much. But I'm not Capital Games. I don't get to make that decision. The other thing is McMull and his ban. I would say I actually unequivocally disagree with their ban on McMull, and this is why. McMull was, in my opinion, perpetuating a problem by putting out the video, and I actually do disagree with McMull putting the video out because it's only throwing gasoline on a fire. But McMull did not actually show how to do it, and he was only kind of the messenger in this situation and didn't actually cheat at all. And so what he's done, while I'm actually on Capital Games' side and disagree with his take, I actually disagree with Capital Games on how they handled it. And so it's amazing. You can actually live in the middle. You can actually disagree with the content creators and Capital Games and have justification for both reasons. I feel like both are kind of handling it wrong, but everybody's entitled to their own opinions. So everyone wanted to know my take, and that's my take. I do feel like it was just fanning the flames unnecessarily. They said the justification was to bring it to light. Everyone who should have known and needed to know knew already, so this wasn't a benefit for the community. The fact that a bunch of new players are now in the know means that there's now a bunch of new players that may feel vindication or justification to now go and do that which they weren't aware of previously, which is only going to exacerbate an already big problem. If he really believes it's a big problem, then we shouldn't make it worse. Now, the worst part about this for me is that Bulldog is saying he's virtue signaling, saying he's doing it for good reasons, good cause. And I want to believe a good-willed man. I want to believe he's a good-willed man, that, he genuinely had the right intent, and that, his lifetime ban I disagree with, and I'm kind of on his side for that. But, maybe he kind of had a bonehead move. We all do bonehead moves from time to time. I have too.
You should have expected some kind of backlash.
Yeah. And he actually said he expected backlash, but I was a bit shocked by this. Let me kill me. And Bulldog's reply, because Bulldog's reply is, let's do this. This is a bit of kind of makes me a bit sad. They're having this conversation, and they're pretty upset, and I get why they're upset. And Bulldog says, and this is him, he says, I am going to give them time to reverse the ban. Now, I understand he's frustrated, and they banned his main account, not the alt. I understand that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not agreeing with them, okay? But he says, if they don't reverse the ban, I'm absolutely posting the cheat where it came from. So he's going to, if they don't do what I want, I'm going to destroy the game. So if Bulldog really does care about the game, and he's
call down the thunder. If I'm going to break the whirlwind, I'm coming back at him.
Yeah. If so, here he is. He's saying, I'm going to get them time to fix their issue, which I'm not saying I don't agree with it. I think that maybe he's onto something, a lifetime ban, maybe he's a little harsh, whatever, but there's diplomatic processes and things like that. I have also personally been kicked out of the Game Changer program, and it reversed within an hour of me being kicked out, all through proper diplomatic conversation. So this isn't something that couldn't be 100% solved, but now he's saying, I am going to destroy this game if I don't have my way. And I don't interpret this as goodwill for the community or goodwill for the game. I see it as vindictive, spiteful, and mean to say I'm going to destroy the game that they've kicked me out of because I cheated for 2 months to prove a point that didn't need to be proved. So this bothered me really, really, really bad because he's virtue signaling, saying he's doing it for the right reason. And I want to believe he's a good-willed man and say that is the case. But then he's out in the community talking about how it's building his channel. He's going to continue to use the cheater account because they haven't gotten to it yet. For the record, they will catch that cheater account. It is on a log, but they're so backlogged, it's going to take a while. But in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it takes, they will get to his account and they will ban that alt account and he'll be done. But to say I'm going to continue to make content on a potentially future banned account that I cheated on, I'm going to continue to get my way, or I'm going to ruin the community. This should hurt the whole community, the whole community's heart. This isn't healthy. So I have a bit of a problem with that. A wish that wasn't the case, but he's angry. I hope he reverses his thought process. So Bulldog, if you're watching, don't do that. Don't put out more information on how to do it, step-by-step instructions or any other thing that you feel justified in doing. If you really love the community that you say you love and you're going to continue to make videos on and stuff, don't exacerbate the problem by continuing. Don't lower yourself down to their level and do something that's going to be so detrimental to the community that the community is going to have a problem with it. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got to do story time, so let's go ahead and get into the live stream. I'm going to move over to comments really quick just to see. There's a bunch and I can't even keep up. But
conversation going. I haven't seen
yeah, Ethan gave $5. Thank you very much. He said he's able to catch a stream on a lunch. That's awesome. Let's see. Nice way to hide what you're talking about so it doesn't get removed. Beastly. Yeah, I don't think they would remove it anyway because it's just an opinion about a circumstance. I'm not showing or even talking about it. I didn't show footage.
It's satire for the sake of comedy.
Yep, I didn't show the actual footage of the cheating, which both of them did. They actually showed the APK. Of course, they zoomed in on it, but they showed the APK and how to use it and how easy it was. Looks like the stream broke earlier and it's back, so I apologize for that dropping, but we should be good.
It wasn't noteworthy.
Yeah.
Split second.
And then $2 from Habuski, Team Instinct Love. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Let's see. Got a bunch of others, man. There's tons. And I'm not, but for the record, you guys, I'm not saying I'm on Capital Games' side at all. I feel like this cheating thing, this is my solution. So if you guys want to know what I would have them do, I would have them dump a ton more people, resources, and money resources into fixing cheating, period. I don't care if they would have to spend 6 months to a year shutting down all game modes to get it fixed, because for the life of the game, there is no way the game is going to continue and is not totally dead, at least PvP modes, if they don't get this fixed. And with Grand Arena, it is dead, you guys. I don't care what you guys say. It's dead until this is fixed, because they now cannot have a one-on-one situation where someone can cheat, and it creates 100,000 potential backlogs on checking for cheaters. So PvP's dead in this game until they get it fixed. So this should become priority number one, and they should have all the resources of man and money going into fixing this problem. It should have been that way 2 years ago. I think they felt like they had bought some tools that were going to help them, because they confidently released a PvP mode, which was Grand Arena Championships, and they released it truly believing that the cheating wasn't going to be as big a problem as it was. They were wrong. And Capital Games definitely needs to admit that they were wrong in that. But they also don't need it exacerbated by people.
No border crisis, people. There's no border crisis.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a border crisis.
Step donated $10. Thank you. And he says, an even worse problem for EA is players like me who want to quit the game and possibly stop playing. I spend a lot of money, and I'm totally aware until McMull's video. That is very, very true. And I do agree with you. They've got to fix this problem. And then it says, Teals gave $2, TI or die trying, cheat-free lifestyle. That's right. Team Instinct, we don't allow cheaters, and if anything comes to light that anyone that we know is cheating, we absolutely boot them. And for the record, Sureshot does have a mic. He's got my mic. He just needs to grab it when he wants to talk.
I have opinions. I have lots of them. I'm just waiting for the story to come out because it seems like everybody's got their own conversation going on over here. He's making a great point, and I've had my own opinion about this off of just getting a little bit of information. So I'm actually getting the gaps filled in along with you. So I'm kind of holding back here a little bit to formulate an opinion.
That and so Nightmare says Bulldog forced their hand. Bulldog did not force their hand at anything. They already had their hand forced. They knew about the problem. They were addressing the problem. And as a lot of you don't know, when something is going chaotic, you don't talk about it publicly. You talk about it privately. Trust me, there was lots of private chat about this, and they were working on it. They were running around with sirens going off. In fact, they said there would be, publicly, they said there would be a postponing of Grand Arena Championships until they worked out bugs, until they did analytics to see whether the levels were fair or not, and to catch up on the backlog of cheaters, my friend. Now, the backlog of cheaters is going to be 100,000 instead of 10,000. And when there is a team of, so many people, you are creating a bigger problem than it is by doing it. So no, Bulldog did not force anyone's hand. All he did was empower more potential future cheaters to cheat. That is it. There is no gain, no benefit from making a video on cheating other than educating the general populace who might actually cheat. Other than that, everyone who should know knew already, and everyone who shouldn't know now knows, but they shouldn't have known. So it's a mess, but I'm going to let you kind of run questions.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who thought it wasn't possible. Sure, everybody thinks there's a way to cheat. Yeah, there's some crazy good developer out there who knows all the codes, can get in there and hack it and blah, blah, blah. Him doing that video, now you know there is a possibility. Now you know it actually works. He's actually showed it. So is that, virtue signaling, is that doing it for the greater good of the community? Or was there a greater good for the community, but extra side benefit? Yeah, I actually get more viewership. I get put a video out there. I'm the one who whistleblowed. I get the celebrity for it. I get to be the one who did it.
And to top it off, he said that he knew his account was going to get banned, and he wasn't going to use it anymore. And then he gets banned, and now he says he's going to use the cheater account and continue to put content out. I think that that's disingenuous to tell people one thing and then do another. So anyway, we've beat that horse dead. Like I said, I don't agree with everything Capital Games has done. I don't agree with everything that Bulldog has done, or even McMull. I don't agree with the ban for life on Bulldog, and I don't agree with the ban at all on McMull. But, it's their game. They get to do what they want. It's up to you guys. I don't know why, but we are having a bit of an issue with the stream, and I apologize. It did crash, and I'm not sure why. So, yep, video output's low. We're trying to figure this out. I did more settings adjustments to see, so hopefully it comes back. And Mobile Gamer, what's happening, brother?
Yo.
Yeah, Mobile Gamer is the man.
Crash for you or just me? No, we're all seeing it.
Yep, I made you a moderator, Mobile Gamer. So, yep, long story short, he's in there. I apologize for it dying. I'm trying my best, man, but I'm going to have to switch out of OBS at some point because for the last few months, I have had a very difficult time with OBS, and I don't know why. So, all right.
Fluctuation lag, not like it just dies out completely, just kind of dips for a little bit. Video might go out, all of a sudden, hey, it's back.
Yep. So let's go ahead and show you. You guys are probably looking in the background and saying, hey, look what he's focused on. And yep, that is right. I am focused on, let me do this. I am focused on my Dan Hendricks. I couldn't agree with you more what you said. CG's hacking me, Mobile Gamer. You're hilarious. Dan Hendricks, thank you for the donation. So I am focused on my Geos still because my Geos have been my prized possession since I started this alt account. And then I've been working on my Ewoks. I'm getting pretty close to 7 stars, so I decided to start gearing them up. And I realized that I'm getting halfway with my Sith Empire, and so I had to basically embrace the Sith Empire as well. And so I went ahead and embraced the Sith Empire and started leveling them up as well. I've got all of them just mediocre at this point, but at this point it's a matter of I've got to start completing stuff in the game, so I'm available to make those attempts once it comes up. So anyway, long story short, I am focused on to finish that team off, and then my Ewoks and my Sith Empire, I'm trying to get their stars and their gear. Everyone's gear 6 or 7, which is kind of a in-between staging point. I am pretty excited because I should be able to Wow. It just keeps bouncing.
Should be able to lose the stream
Yeah,
completely.
I do not know why OBS is bouncing like that. Let's do something really quick.
Let's just see what we can do here.
I do not know why it is causing those issues. I apologize, you guys. I don't know why it's doing that. So, all right, well, I don't know what's going on with OBS. I apologize in advance. Well, we're going to, a couple of things. One, I didn't even think about Padme event until all of a sudden I realized people were doing it with their really newly reworked geos and it was working. So we're going to try that event, provided my stream can stay healthy enough. And then I've got some dailies and stuff. I'm pretty excited. I actually have a Zeta that I should be able to do today. So let's go in and get some of the dailies done.
Got to make a point here. How many times has a new character come out, some new event come out, and you go and look through your roster and see, hey, I've got 4 of those 5 characters. I've got 3 of those 5 characters. I've got just enough to get me started or feel like I've actually got a good jump start point. But how many times do you actually go into your lineup and see, I've actually got all 5 of those characters and decently geared up and almost 7-star or already 7-starred? If you're hearing crickets, because I am too, then yeah, it's because this doesn't usually happen. So to see you sitting here with Geos pretty well maxed out or at least leveled up enough to have a considerable good possibility to actually do the Padme event, I gotta say there's a little bit of bitterness, but also just to see that it actually does happen for some people. Not to say that I'm always the one or this is always a problem for me or whatever, but at least 3 times it's popped up where like, hey, I've got, CLS, Han, and R2-D2 ready to go, but Chewie and C-3PO not so much. And also difficult events to actually get geared up for and actually get started up for to be able to get them. So it would be nice to see something pop up at some point for only needing 1 character, but to see it happen for you, especially as a, oh, yeah, I didn't see that coming moment, that's pretty cool. It's nice to know it actually happens.
Yeah, it was. I woke up this morning and some people were asking, so what team are you going to use for Padme? And I was like, what team am I going to use for Padme? I'm not even totally prepared for that at all. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get Padme. And they were like, you've got your Geos, bro. And I was like, oh my goodness, Separatists. So here's my Separatists, and you'll know why I was just totally forgetting about Geos. But the top 5 characters I have are Geos, and then I've got the Droideka, the B1, Count Dooku, Asajj, and Magna Guard, but they're all like crappy. I got B1 from an event, and Droideka I've been farming for another ship, and Count Dooku dropped, Asajj Ventress slow farm, and Magna Guard not even trying, just getting it automatically through drops and stuff. So here we go, and I'm like, what? So I think we can get this bad boy to gear 11. I have this glowing, and man, it's needed on so many good characters, but he is more important to me, so we're gonna do that. And then
more important right now.
Yeah, and then he needs a stun gun, and I have this. I got this yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And then how many? Ooh, 3. We can do 3, you guys. So let's do this. Let's go 8. I think that should be enough for 3. Oh, of course. Let's get some more.
It's enough to limp you along one at a time.
Yeah. Let's do 2. Come on, give me 2. There we go. Hey-o. All right.
Grievous not unlocked? Arnold is mad.
I know. It's a free-to-play account, you guys.
Get to the chopper.
So we farmed for that. We got the gun. Look at all those people that needed that gun. That's so sad, but look at this.
Look at this.
Bing!
Wait.
Oh, wow. Glowing stuff. Glowing stuff.
Extras.
Oh, yeah. I got a ton of those. Those are speed. Those are good.
It's like Gear Up Christmas.
Queen's Will.
I
Here we
wasn't
go.
expecting it. Thank you. Something I didn't know I wanted.
Queen's Will. There we go. So let's upgrade this. Ha! Nice. I probably should fix their mods before I go in and try the event.
Wait, man. Keep your GP low for grander rate. Oh, wait.
And that's it. That's everything except for their mods. Their mods are, I would say, are not so good. I just, kind of casually threw some stuff on here. I've got speed and crit chance on Geo Soldier. I don't know. Let's see. Crit damage, offense. So he's built for damage. 200 speed built for damage. I don't know. They can one-shot him, though, probably. Sunfac. Looks like he's built tenacity, health, and randomness. Yeah,
That's an ability, randomness?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do protection. And let's see what I have protection-wise. Let's see. Do I have any protection with speed? There's protection with speed. There we go. We'll put that on there. And this one is protection with speed. And we got to upgrade this.
Everybody's saying just wing it. I'm like, well, this is the wrong context for that, right? You can't just wing it. I mean, you have to use the force, right? That's how it works. No modding. Just go out there. Just make it happen. Trust in yourself, Luke.
Luke, use the force. Feel the force. Come on, Speed. There we go.
I feel it. No, you just spilled your coffee in your lap. Ah!
Yeah, I feel it in my bones. All right, let's keep going. There we go. Look at that protection. And yeah, and I think that's pretty good. We got 3 speed. We just need to do a 4th speed so we can get a benefit from that speed set.
Someone wants to know my opinion on the Geonosian Brood Alpha Zeta that you just put on there. I think in general, Zetas have their place for the right moment, the right event. However, it's going to affect your team. The leader Zeta in any situation is always a good choice. It's almost like getting a full other gear level in some respects. I think when I had my first order, for a while, everything was all sitting gear 8, gear 9-ish, and I didn't really bother with them on territory war defense. Now I use them primarily. They're only sitting at like 75,000 GP, but I pretty regularly get 2 people making multiple attempts on them before they can knock them out, and that happens specifically after Cruise Zeta. So when it comes to leadership, especially Geonosian Brood Alpha already being a MVP right now and just being OP, I think that's a great choice.
Here we go. So we've got 100,000 health and protection. So that's pretty good. 50% potency. I'm pretty happy with that. Got him a little bit faster. Sunfac's looking pretty good. Geospy should have an offense set. Yep, does. Because boy, this guy can do some damage. Let's see if we have offense with offense. Not sure I do.
Tell me, may the Schwartz be with you?
Nope, I don't.
I can see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Which Schwartz? May I salute your shorts? No, the Schwartz. We even have dolls. May the Schwartz be with you. They're very adorable. Let's see here. Any questions out there? What's going on out in the world? Obviously, got a lot of topics or a heavy topic going on right now. But if you guys got other questions about what he's doing right now, or just off the wall ones too, then we can definitely start going through those a little bit more.
So here we go. We have Gear 11 Geo Soldier, 7-star Gear 11, 7-star Gear 11 Sunfac, 7-star Gear 11 Spy, 7-star Gear 11, actually 5-star Gear 11 Geo Brood, and a 7-star Gear 10 Poggle. I have 1 Zeta on the team, and I have, I would say for my account, medium mods. Not my best mods, but not like terrible either. They're like average. Now, comparatively to my main account, they all have trash mods, but for this account, it's pretty good. So
Apples to oranges.
Yeah, so I think we're good to try the event.
I wouldn't go for that exact crossover there, but hey, mods are mods. You need them. I noticed somebody in here was mentioning that the first Pats game is tomorrow. If you're into that sort of thing, cool. All right, happy for you. Here's a topic of conversation for you. Tom Brady's teeth, are they too white or not white enough? Discuss. Should he he sold his house in wherever it is he's living now. Does that signal that he's going to a different team in 2020? Who cares?
Hey, look at this. Somehow with my Geos, I was already able to do tier 1 through 3 with my Geos. when they were, because I've had them Gear 11 since I got into ships.
Yes.
They were my first Gear 11s in the entire game. Were those silly guys for ships, because I knew I could get lots of crystals out of ships.
Those guys have been a topic of conversation kind of from the beginning of this account, not only just for their ships, but yeah, they've actually started to gain more use as you've gone through this account, which has been interesting because I wonder if they've been paying attention that closely to your account or it's just been that serendipitous. What else we got here? Yep, got some other Pats fans out there. People talking about Boston sports. I can get behind the Red Sox. Yeah, can't harsh them too much. I will say their 86-year drought was nothing compared to the Cubs, but splitting hairs. Let's see here. Nightmare is asking Warrior and Sureshot. I had an opponent score 63 points versus my well-modded Night Sisters. I have a SS of the date, but not this name. Let's see here. I have a SS of the date, but not his name. Will CG find this cheater? I'm sure you can report them. I've reported a couple of guys. There's been like 2 times that I've actually felt the need to because it just seemed so out of whack. There couldn't be any other possibility, and made the attempt and come back around and fought him again in Grand Arena. So not going to say it's going to work, but, well, that was quick. This just in, Geos are BA and OP, and they're down with it, so you know me. So yeah, I would say that they might get around to it if this backlog is correct. They probably will get around to it, and they're going to probably have a bit more of their fire under their butt now because of this whole topic, so wait to see. Let's see here. Who else? People still talking amongst themselves. Let's see. Patrick also wants to know, is it worth leveling up gray mods? Or should I just sell green and gray and save some plus mods? Ooh, this is a topic that's pretty regular on here as well. Plenty of videos for that.
So when I am on my main account, because I have an unlimited number of credits, basically I have over 100 million, I level everything up to see if it has speed. On my free-to-play account, I don't have that opportunity. I don't have nearly that many credits, and I got to be picky and choosy. So I really only level up to see what's on them on gold down to blue. The green, if it shows speed, I will. If it doesn't show speed, I won't. And white, I just sell because I don't have the time. I don't have the credits to go through every white mod that drops to see. If I had the credits for that, I would, but you don't. So you at some point have to pull the plug on a color that you're not going to roll. So if you see a green that shows speed, then it saves you on that. You get 5 showing of speed, then you're already at 5 speed, and then hopefully you'll get some rolls on that particular mod all the way through gold. That speed procs again at least once, and you get at least 10 speed on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like the white mods that show nothing because same situation. Even though I have a lower account, even though mods can always help, to take the time and energy to waste the credits and the frustration on them not rolling worth anything and rolling through 12 before you get one good one, you're better off just to sell it for the credits that you'd need towards mods that work out better for you or show more abilities. Warrior, Nightmare wants to know, are you excited or depressed about Joe Flacco? Is there something that you may know about that? I'm not familiar with him all that well, other than his name's kind of fun to say. Isn't he the quarterback for the Ravens? Or he was at one time? I don't know. I'm not much of a football fan. Hardy Brown, devs are finding ways to copyright strike videos and channels they don't like to intimidate YouTubers. Is it scary to see this happen? But it is scary to see this happening, but it is happening. So that was just more of a statement than a question, I guess. It is scary, yeah. It's always scary to see what YouTube can do to anybody's channel just because they decided they want to. Somehow you pop up on their radar, and one moderator one day will decide, no big deal, let it go. The next day another moderator will look at it, nope, banned. Nope, demonetized. So you never know. When you have such loose, generic, open-ended standards and you don't adhere to those even in the slightest, and it just kind of seems whatever your opinion is that day, it's hard. Yeah, it definitely makes it scary. As a possible person who's going to be making a YouTube channel myself, I find it hard to put that kind of time and effort into something that I know not only has a huge hill to climb to get monetized in the first place, but to know that it could be demonetized at any moment for any flighty reason. It does raise questions and makes you wonder, is it worthwhile? Although I do love YouTube, I just wish there was another way. Barrett Clemens, what about the CFL? Any fans out there? I think it just started a big football conversation that I probably didn't really want to get into. Heck, this regular season hasn't even started yet, has it? But I guess there's only 16 games to go off of, so there's not a whole lot of game to watch. I'm a baseball fan, so 162 games. I got plenty to talk about all year long. Not as bad as a hockey fan, though. I will tell you, their season's ridiculous. Warrior and Sureshot. How would you mod Padme? Well, I'll tell you when I get her. Unless you have any thoughts for that. Are you busy?
Oh, yeah. I'm totally in the middle of this battle. So let me pause. We'll talk about other crap later. We're in the middle of a super important unlock, so I want to get Padme, or we can't even talk about how to mod Padme because I want her. So there's 4 characters on the unlock, and you got a guy, Jedi Master Guardian, that brings him back to life. Ultimately, you got to kill him, right? Anakin is a problem because he can go Super Saiyan mode, but honestly, because of the equalization, you don't really have to worry too much about him. In the other realm, when I did it previously, you did. But keeping him ability blocked, keeping all of them ability blocked. I killed General Kenobi because he constantly taunts, and then he just accidentally died because the Geos did enough damage to him. But the goal is to keep everyone ability blocked, which when you call mass assists, they all get ability blocked pretty easily, provided they don't have that bonus protection. It happens pretty easily, and if they're ability blocks, then we're pretty good. You do want to kill the Guardian, so once he's dead, it becomes infinitely easier. Sometimes killing Anakin first so you can survive long enough to kill the Guardian is fine, and I think that it's going to be difficult to kill the Guardian because he's going to bring the General Kenobi back. But this, you have unlimited time, so I should be good to go. And then TB12 is GOAT. He's a patron of mine. He just donated $5. Thank you very much. He said, did I just catch Sureshot talking about Boston sports? Yes, we have a championship drought in February. That's hilarious.
Since February, yeah. How many championships you Red Sox got already? Yeah, just curious. World Series wins there. I think last time I checked, the Yankees were sitting at like 22, and I think, nice.
So I used Spy's special. You build him up with a bunch of buffs and debuffs, and then once his Spy's special comes back, you just mollywop him. Now General Kenobi's gone, and now the Reviver's gone. So now I got full health and protection, and now I just need to go after Anakin. This shot might actually kill Anakin. This Brood's special, his Brute, his special attack, this bad boy, does a ridiculous amount of damage. And if you have a Gear 13 GBA, you have a Gear 13 Brute. A lot of people don't realize that. He summons based off your... So I can't wait to get him Gear 13. He'll probably be my first Gear 13 in this alt account. I don't know, but let's see what this does.
The first, if possible. Somebody asked earlier what our favorite sports city was. If so, I guess you could say as a city as a whole that has good sports. I guess Chicago does have good sports. I am a diehard Cubs fan. I could be considered a secondary Bears fan just because I'm always rooting for an underdog. But I would say personally my favorite sports city would have to be Denver. Only because I'm a baseball fan first, football fan kind of ish secondary. I watched both the back-to-back Super Bowl wins with the Broncos, and my first favorite baseball team was the Rockies. So a little bit of nostalgia going on there. And I see you're down to only one here. Something impressive happened that I missed?
I killed Anakin.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely impressive. But what else?
I killed Anakin, and without Spy's special. But Spy's special is like a guaranteed one-shot. It's amazing. All you got to do is stack all the buffs and debuffs. They'll stack their own buffs, and you stack your debuffs. And the status effects on both characters is what makes him go crazy. This next time I have him, you're going to see him one-shotter. And that's where the power of this is. We're one turn away from him one-shotting her. So here we go. She stays perpetually in a state of ability block. And yeah, I'm going to have to get my leader up to 6-star, which I should be able to do. Not maybe today, but I should be able to do easily on this event. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and try. Let's put some more negative status effects on her. There we go. And then when it comes back around, we should be able to just one-shot. There's some negative status effects. There we go. Here we go. This is for the win, for the unlock, and I should be able to get a 6-star after this. 151 something, 158,000.
In honor sports, go!
That's pretty awesome. Oh, look what they gave. What?
Nice.
Oh, I have 522 of them.
61 you don't need.
So I got one. They're giving me.
You actually got some eyeballs. All right.
Yeah, they gave me the good side, but only half. They gave me enough to do one fully crafted of that. And I got her unlocked, man. Yeah, I didn't even think I was gonna do this yesterday, and then boom, my geos. They are paying off more than you have any idea, man. They're crazy.
Bring out the streamers and confetti. Burp. Nice little birthday gift you didn't know you're gonna get, which wasn't too far long ago. So hey, that works. Activate feels good. Got a few people to spark a few interests in there, or start talking about their favorite teams. Mobile, White Sox, really? No, it's cool. You're entitled to your opinion. Of course, what hat do you normally wear on a regular basis that happens to do with sports? I don't think that has anything to do with White Sox. Just kind of that's funny. Let's see.
Boom,
I think a few questions rolled away while I was not paying attention here, but the tags aren't always popping up as a big, vibrant, highlighted sign for me to be like, hey, look at me. So I apologize for that. Although I will say Jolie Fish Stew, definitely, I like that. That's a good pun. It's exactly what he is. No matter how many times you keep on hitting somebody or killing them, it's a trap. Is that a Mon Calamari Jedi? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Mon Calamari. It's a trap. I'm getting skunked out of this franchise. Dang it.
So let's go look at my Galactic Republic because I got a problem. I got a Padme that I get to use now, and I've got and I've got crappy Galactic Republic. Oh, this is a terrible problem. This is actually, I got the best character for Galactic Republic, and I am rolling in. Well, I'm gonna have to put General Kenobi with her. And R2-D2, and I'll probably have to pull Yoda off my Revan team so I have something to run with her. Oh my. But I've got 5s at 5-star gear 6. I could run him. And then I have Ahsoka, which I've been farming her stars, and Jedi Knight Anakin at least unlock. So I probably should put Jedi Knight Anakin and Ahsoka into my faves. This is not good because this is 2 more characters. I was not planning on gearing these 2 characters at all, but I can't in all good conscience not. He has a ship too, and she has a ship too. So I mean, I love ships so much. I get 2 birds with each stone. Nuts. Now I got 3 new favorites, and now I got to drop some favorites out, but I can't. Oh my goodness, my favorites are now three pages long, or three rows long. I always tell people keep it within 2.
Right.
Keep it within 2, which means you know what, Poggle.
I get one outlier once in a while. Brood Alpha is my outlier.
Poggle goes away because he's 7-star, and do I want to? No, I want to do this guy. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It's a part. Oh, man. Who is glowing at the top? Because, it is Geo Brood. Oh, and Han Solo needs a ton of those. You know what?
If only it was 6 or 7-star.
Han Solo deserves this, and so does his ship. Let's see how much we get for this. 400. Wow, that's pretty powerful. The gear finishers are like 200. That's not right. That's not right. It looks like the stream finally leveled out.
Yeah.
They finally got to talk to each other well enough that they figured it out.
Had a few cups of coffee, woke up.
Yeah, YouTube, man, I tell you, so stupid. Geo Brood, I am farming him, so I got to keep him in faves, man. But look at this, we're 36. I still have. I can't spend all my credits. You know why? Because today's gonna be a good day for Warrior. This is a terrible song and everybody's telling me to shut up because I suck at singing. All right, no, check this out, you guys. Padme was a surprise. I was like, had no idea until this morning that I would even be prepared. Oh my. And then I woke up to this morning, home 1, and I happen to be saving my crystals, and I have over 800, which means
What do you need 800 for?
Well, let me tell you. Home 1 Fleet Mastery gives a single refresh attempt at 800 crystals, which gives you 10. Now, I need 20. I'll earn 10 plus another 10 equals 20. So check this out. I will have a 7-star right here, right now.
Before your very eyes. I do have to give a shout out to Mobile's Dodgers. I don't know if you're actually a fan or not. I know that the hat's a thing, but hey man, more power to you. Blowing it out of the water this year. Maybe you'll make it to the World Series again. Third time's a charm. We'll see what happens. It's funny, yeah. Start farming that Cryotech now, boy. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Love it when new gear comes in. Yeah, just new thing to collect. Collect them all. And then this one too. And then that one again. Magic the Gathering much? Nightmare. What new future incoming Galactic Republic tune do you think will come to make Padme the new meta? Well, Padme is still part of the meta, right? It's kind of funny to be part of one of the top 5 teams, but yet still be not talked about as much and not noticed as much as the other, as the other Revens. So I think it's funny that it's the top 5, but not quite.
Yeah, Padme teams are definitely top 3 in the game.
3, yeah.
Top 3 in the game. They can beat virtually everything, from Darth Revan teams to I use mine to kill General Grievous, and I get 60 points against General Grievous teams with Padme. Tell me that is not amazing. And General Grievous is up there for sure. I can beat Night Sisters, 60 points. 60 points. I have had better luck with my Padme team against Darth Revan than like Jedi Knight Revan versus Darth Revan. Like much better luck. Honestly, Padme is the most powerful team outside of Darth Revan, in my opinion. And it's to answer his question. He's probably heard me on Jedi Academy say, I believe a couple new Galactic Republic characters will come in that will convert her into the meta. And honestly, I don't know. My guess is that there might be like a, how there's this weird event that you get Malik out of, that weird event where you need like these characters to get him and these characters to get him, and then these 2 teams to get this one character. I think they're going to be something like that you'll have to unlock 2 characters, and then those 2 characters and their teams will be needed. I think a Padme team will be needed to unlock like an Anakin, but it'll be a different version of Anakin, like a Padawan Anakin, and that Padawan Anakin will be able to take this Padme team. You'll actually replace the Anakin that's in there with this new Anakin, and I think it'll make it overpowered like Malik makes Darth Revan overpowered. Because remember, before Darth Revan got Malik, Darth Revan was not meta. He was the second best team. It really came down to mods, but Jedi Knight Revan had no problem beating him. In fact, I beat Darth Revans all the time on my leaderboard on Scissorman without don't have Malik, and I can still beat him. I got top 5 yesterday. I got 5th place.
Well, Malik is a linchpin in that.
Yeah, so that is the linchpin, but I think there's going to be a linchpin for her team, and I think that's going to be this journey thing with the light side Anakin. So I got 15 shards. I thought this was 10 shards, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to refresh this bad boy and get my 7-star today.
Nothing wrong with extra currency in the shops, especially if you're going to spend 800 crystals. Boom. Somebody mentioned it earlier or threw out the idea, a Mace rework. Yeah, we'd all like to see that happen, but...
That was the other.
That was the other?
It was either
okay.
him or Mace, I think, because they could make Mace like
one
Malik.
or the other? Okay.
You
I agree with Padawan Anakin because I think that's natural. Don't they already have him in Geonosian territory battles? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's kind of more of a natural progression of where they would go with that as opposed to Mace. But yeah, he's a 5th tier. He's a back there favorite of mine. I wish I could see him be reworked a little bit better because I don't know if you've ever seen the anime of Clone Wars, but he's amazing in that and gives us a whole reason or gives us a whole backstory as to why General Grievous is walking around coughing all the time, just because Mace is that BA. Let's see. Oh, Tommy's asking if there's an unlock method for General Grievous's ship. We could sit and speculate on that one, but don't know for sure. They've already dropped us a nice little hint that's going to happen, and we've known they've talked about it enough that it's going to be an eventuality. We just don't know how that's exactly going to play out. So your guess is as good as ours. The full 7-star plus charge. Going full gizmo there. Let's see. No other questions coming in right now. I'm looking for the ats. They're not popping up. I wish they'd always just show up with that nice little yellow bar around them, orange bar around them. Looks like another statement. Don't see another question. Not getting any kickback from Mobile on my Dodgers comments, so I'm guessing he's not around anymore. All right, another topic for you. The Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire. Discuss. And you gotta say that in a Boston accent because we were talking about the Pats earlier. Speaking of Tom Brady's teeth, my goodness, how much money a year do you think he puts into that? I heard, or I saw an article recently that talked about Jennifer Aniston, how she looks so good at 50. I agree, but apparently it takes about $240,000 a year to stay that young, that good looking at 50 years old. So hey, you heard it here, you heard it from that article. Now you know. Just you gotta start saving your pennies. But yeah, those teeth, I tell you, just phosphorus, just big and ridiculous. And that's just kind of the only thing that's about his personality, isn't it? Just that smile. No, I don't hate Tom Brady. No, I mean, I don't like him, but I don't hate him.
I don't know. I think that he's a part of an organization. There's a bigger picture here. Again, everything gets muddled in gray. I think that I think he is one of the many greats of the game. I think that if you put him in a well-oiled machine, but I don't think
said anything about his playing ability.
I don't think that I don't think that it's him though. I think it's the greater good of the whole team. They work together. It's like almost like the whole team. Because there's a bunch of them that have played together for many, many years. A lot of them, they have greater retention with players than like any other team. Money bottom line comes down to that. But the team is so synergistic because of that the team is amazing. I think if you pulled him out and put him in another team, he may seem far less impressive. He's still a good player, but I think that it's the synergistic aspect of his team and how long so many of these players got to play together, which is why. But I now get to put in another ship in my reinforcements. I have no idea who to do, so we'll check it out.
Let's see where that's going to click in. No, I agree with that completely. Yeah, I wouldn't say that he's the face, but he is not the team. Obviously, there's a lot of good things clicking there. They're firing all cylinders, and however that's coming about, it's obviously producing. So I'm not saying anything against them as far as their records, against their playing ability, whatever. Yeah, somebody made a good comment here, to keep those teeth up, it's about an extra $28.3 million in your contract. Yeah, that certainly helps. Motivator, to say the least. So yeah, no, nothing against him personally. I just like making fun of him because I think the fan rhetoric is just a little ridiculous around that team and him specifically, and I just get a little sick on it once in a while to the point where I do vomit quite a bit. So I just like to kind of back off on that a little bit if you could, fans. So looks like we had a few more comments pop up here. Dylan H., what does the future of swgoh look like, growing or dying? I would say it's peaking for sure. I wouldn't say that it's dying. No.
Peaked.
Yeah, but peaked. Yeah, peaked for sure. It's reaching that precipice. We're going to see how the roller coaster ride goes from here. Zach Irvin, there is also the impending release of Kai Adimundi that will affect Padme team. That's true. Good. He would be. He would be Galactic Republic, and he would be amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, amazing five heads going on there. Yeah. Nightmare. Who's better with General Grievous lead, Newt or Droideka?
Either a fast Newt or a fast Droideka, whichever you can get. If you can get Droideka to 200, then use him. If you can get Newt to 300, use him.
Antonin Kulhanek? Do you think that General Grievous Capital, as we saw, is too powerful and it will need to be a little bit nerfed? I think they do that a lot. They do kind of come out a little bit too strong, a little too hot and heavy. First date didn't really go that well. They need to back it off a little bit when she drops a little hint like, hey, I like it, just don't, rush it too quickly. So, yeah, they probably will come out a little hot and heavy and then have to adjust it. They do that a lot. Yeah, show some maturity, exactly. Thanks, Artisan. Nas Nikda, my favorite former game changer, and Sureshot, dynamic duo are back. Woo! Former game changer. I like this. I like the specification there.
I'm still a game changer.
Oh yeah, still a game changer in as far as EA is concerned. Yep. As far as Capital Games is concerned, sensitive subject. The two, like the Twin Towers. There was only two.
Yeah.
Now it's just Twin Towers are kind of like gender. There was only two. Now it's just a really sensitive subject.
Well, it's just one of those things where they're choosing not to participate in the program, but EA still has that program, and I could play other games if I want to. I just don't want to.
Yeah. You could, but I won't. Looks like Upgrade said that he had gotten a 7-star Padme with all GOs, none Gear 12, no Zetas. All right, good going. How many times did that take you, though? Just out of curiosity, what's your frustration level at now? Yes, sorry, story time. Story time was at the beginning, you missed it. But you can go back later and watch it. What was the achievement?
Getting home 1 to 7 stars. Every 7-star ship battle gives you a Zeta, so that's pretty awesome.
At this point in the game, yeah, Zetas can still be a good thing, even though they're just kind of racking up now. I like that they changed the that event or that daily that you could actually get 2 Zetas each time, which is pretty cool. Kind of threw the whole percentage out the window for that. So good on you, Capital Games. Need a few more of those things, and we start bringing that opinion level up a little bit more. Let's see here. Nightmare. Warrior, best counter versus Django Nest. Django Nest combo. Is there a new character I didn't know about?
Django Fett and then Nest. I like to use JTR, but you have to know how to time JTR's hit against Nest. So if you don't know how to do that, you can either use, the Triumvirate, which works very easy, very well. Or you can use, Jedi Knight Revan actually on offense, and Jedi Knight Revan takes very quick work of all of that. Remember when Jedi Knight Revan marks and they all attack, it reduces the health pool. You also have Sith Marauder. So you could, if you're using a Emperor Palpatine led team, you could actually sub in Sith Marauder. He can perma reduce the health pool of a character if he crits. And so there's a bunch of little things. The Emperor Palpatine-led team will work. JTR, if you know how to time her mass hit, works. Wampa, if you raise him up, high enough, he can actually daze, prevent that extra turn meter, do a lot of damage, and he can take Nest out himself. So there's quite a few options, actually.
Shout out to Takedown Games, Xylo Takedown. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a malevolence, or however it's spelled. Dip, duck, dive, dodge, and dodge. Gotta love a reference there. Let's see, somebody had a question and I passed over it maybe, no? TB12 is GOAT, don't you dare, Durshot. Don't I dare what? Oh, I dare. I dare to go there. In fact, sometimes I double dare. Slime! Oh. Poor Nickelodeon. I think they may have come back a little bit, but I think they went bankrupt at one point. Oh, do you think we will see a, Josh Pace asked, do you think we'll see a Padme ship when Negotiator starts to come out? I mean, are they just going to roll out the red carpet of ships since they've been ignoring it for so long? Maybe, but I don't think there's been no talk of a Padme ship.
Listen, if they don't fix the cheating thing now, the game's over. And so 100% of the resources have to go into fixing that on another level, or they can just kill Grand Arena and say PvE for life, which is probably what's going to happen in the interim. The biggest key for them is communication to let us know that they are acknowledging it, that they are aware of it, that they are working on it, that they are pouring resources into it. So that way, when there are no new events, no new characters, and no new anything over the next 6 months, we know why. Because it is going to take the entire team that long to honestly fix this. This is not an easy fix, no matter what anyone says. But I think it's steps. Right? I think it's the end goal is not going to be immediate. I think they need to create things like digital reports for us so we can see what people are fighting. But the problem is, bottom line, if you know there's a cheater and you report them, it goes on a report and they have to sift through that report. And there are people I know that report everyone for cheating because they think everyone's cheating. And then they got other people that don't care about cheaters. And so, but these reports are huge. They've got to go through and they've got to read, they've got to look, they've got to do research on the account. They've got to see what they have, what they've got. Previous battle reports to see health and protection. They can do this to see, how well they're winning, damage output numbers. Are they within normal range? And then once they isolate and figure out that's a cheater, which takes them a while, they ban that person and then they move to the next person. Well, when you got 1 million people playing a game and those 1 million people are reporting 20,000 cheaters a month, probably, maybe less. I don't know. I don't know the numbers. They do. It makes it, when those 20,000 reports become 80,000, becomes 100,000, it just makes it that much harder for them to get through the log the backlog. So it's just, I think that, like I said, making this whole thing public was not a good idea because it's not forcing their hand at anything. They put in some new tools right before this Grand Arena Championships that they thought were going to help them. But even if it is helping them, which we don't know, it's still creating a backlog. In fact, their tools probably created a bigger backlog than they had before because it probably is catching additional cheaters when it can see modded APKs. But they have to get through that. They're going to have to hire 1,000 people to get through this log. You know what I mean? Like, it's unreasonable. We can't assume they're going to be able to hire 1,000 people. It's just not possible. So that's, at this point, it comes down to constraints and reasonableness. So us exacerbating the problem, if we love the game, if we genuinely love this game, we should do everything in our power to make sure nobody gets to know what this is and how it works and all of that, because it only makes the game worse and actually makes it potentially more damning in the future for them to ever recover from something like this. So I don't see them doing a bunch of new content coming up, because they're going to be obviously now, having to spend everything to try and get the new tools even better than they were. But I believe that they're kind of always one step behind cheaters. That's just the way it works. Someone hacks into your account and they put in new measures, and then they find a new way to hack. And then you put in new measures and they find a new way to hack. So I don't know. I just don't think we should be making it a bigger problem than it already is. But I do agree that they need to be pouring all of their resources into it. I don't know what it looks like because I'm not them, but I know that it is detrimental to the health of the game, and they are fully aware that it is detrimental to the health of the game. And so I know that they unequivocally want to destroy this, but I don't know what it looks like because we're not there. We don't know. And they do not want this to continue at all. It's not like they're turning a blind eye to it. A lot of people think that that's what it is, that they just don't care. And that is not true at all. If they allow cheating to continue, it destroys the game. They're aware of that, and they don't want that to be the case. So I think we should be a little bit slower to throwing people under the bus until we understand fully what's, going on. So
think of it from a financial standpoint too. If they are as worried about money and it's all they care about, as much as we like to toss blame around and say flippantly about them, then obviously cheaters don't make them any money, and it would be a dent in their sales. So obviously they would take this seriously, be looking into it. But I think that is a good point too, because it really forced them to be reactive instead of proactive, because you can't really assume, oh, hey, I think that this backdoor is going to open over here, or this hack might be for this, so I'm going to do something to stop that now. No, a hack happens, somebody finds a backdoor, they have to go and fix it. So if it's as big as a problem as it was before, and probably exponentially so now, then yeah, that makes perfect sense that they wouldn't have as much time and resources to devote to new characters, new ships, and to furthering the game. They need to take a step back now and fix a pre-existing problem that was something in the back burner and has now been brought to the forefront probably. I think a few more questions popped up here. Somebody was asking about the General Kenobi ship or the General Grievous ship. Which one do you think is going to be meta, and how far out do you think that is? Telpern wants to know. I don't think there's any information so far on that other than just the hint that was dropped. I don't think you've heard anything, know anything. So yeah, that's kind of our best guess. We don't know for sure, but it's interesting that the GK ship is already here and General Grievous has been kind of just a hint at. So I'm going to assume that Negotiator would be out for a while to kind of let that one be established before they throw another one on top of it. Mark Temple wants to know, how did the drop rate testing go? Different number of sims at a time? That's a never-ending debate.
So the last thing that I tested, and I tested for a extensive period of time, and I actually gave to another game changer because he's really into the data. I gave him some of my information, but the drop rates for the new Gear 13, like the Gear 12 finishers to get you to Gear 13, when they first came out, were dropping right around 25%, which for high-end gear, 25% is about right, because other high-end gears at 25%, character shards around 33%, not all character shards, lower-end characters have a higher drop rate, higher end characters have a lower drop rate. Part of that is because they give away a lot of those older characters as well, so they don't care as much. But 33% drop rate on the character shards is about right. Some gear has 100% drop rate. Some gear has 200% drop rate. If you go to like Gear 1 or Level 1 gear and you farm, you hit like one time and you get like 3 pieces of gear, that's a 300% drop rate. Its averages is 200. But the green gear has like a 50% drop rate. So most of it, some of it has 100% drop rate. Sometimes if you go go in to get something, you're getting it guaranteed. Like a Mark 1 furnace, you're getting it guaranteed. It's not going to drop. It will drop. And then as you go up the gear, the different gear levels have different drop rates. And the purple gear is about 25%, is from what my experience is on my previous data and what I've seen on Reddit. Well, the Gear 12 finishers were dropping at around 25%, which was the same percentage of all the other previous gear. And I was pretty pleased by that because in a day on my main account, I could farm for basically enough pieces that I could get one character from Gear 12 plus to Gear 13 every other day. And then they did an update, and then all of a sudden now I'm getting 12 to 13% drop rate. I'm averaging 12.5% drop rate, and that happened a few weeks ago. And now it's taking me 4 or 5 days, not every other day, but 4 to 5 days, averages out to about 4 days per character. So it has literally been halved. For them to deny that they've dropped the drop rate would be complete fabrication. I'm not the only one that experienced the drop rate who is monitoring this. Every whale that's doing this realized that some of them were doing one every single day, and now they're doing one every other day. I was doing one. Yeah, I was doing one every other day. I'm doing one every 4 days. We all saw the drop. So I'm not sure why they chose to change that, but that's a bit disappointing. But that was the last thing that I chose to check into.
Rubber Duck Mafia with Kai Adimundi and Geo territory battles, and the likely reference to slapping your forehead in disbelief. Doesn't it seem like Jar Jar is more likely, as everyone is expecting the Mundi? No. Oh God, no, please, no. I don't want Jar Jar. Hopefully that is just a nice little misdirection there, but I don't think so. I don't see that in the pipeline.
Jar Jar is happening.
Jar Jar is happening. Hold on a second.
Jar Jar is happening. Jar Jar is happening. I don't.
Or fact?
Not fact.
Okay.
Nobody's confirmed anything, but I'm telling you, the road ahead had some key things said that I will tell you. And you know what? They said that they would never have C-3PO in the game. In fact, when they mentioned it years ago, people scoffed and laughed at that. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? You know, now that we're in the world where they can make characters that don't actually have attacks, and they're successful in the game and people actually enjoy those teams, Jar Jar has every right now to be in the game, and has the right to do, where he like trips on himself and the other person gets blinded or something. Like they're going to bring him in. It's happening now. The time is now. We have Hermit Yoda. We have Wat Tambor. We have C-3PO. We've got BB-8. Like basically we got all these characters that can, BB-8 has a basic, but aside from the little spark, he's basically like the rest of them. So the time is now. It really is. The time is now.
The time is never. No. Change.org. #no. No Jar Jar. Somebody had popped up and said, hi, that got buried. Somebody asked me what I thought my first data on Padme would be. Well, to answer that quickly, if a character comes out specifically as a leader and is, best in that position, not a standalone character, hands down leadership ability first. It's just going to make the whole team better. That's the biggest bang for your buck if you're inching up or can't just do them both at the same time. Let's see here. Motorboater 1000. Late to the stream are whales / krakens that spending at the moment with the cheating drama going on. So any whales or krakens that you know of that are just going, whoa, until this gets figured out, my credit card's going back in my wallet.
So I think that comes down to there's a bunch of personal opinion, right? Everybody has a different opinion on how they're going to handle it. There will be whales that will stop spending. There will be whales that will continue to spend. There will be people who
Whale's gonna whale.
Yeah, whale's gonna whale. There are going to be people who are outraged and quit over the game. There are going to be people who think Bulldog was stupid for doing it. There are going to be people on all sides of the aisle, and I think we all just need to realize it's just a game, guys. You know what I mean? Like, let's not make it worse. Let's not do things that are going to overtly cause damage to the game. Let's continue to encourage Capital Games to be communicative and fix things, but you can communicate with them. Whether they ever communicate back is another story, but they do listen. Whether you realize they're listening or not is another story, but they are listening and they do understand the needs of the community. They don't always get things done. The best way I can describe Capital Games is the Titanic. Capital Games is the Titanic.
It's sail regardless, but
it's sailing, man, and it is going. And there was an iceberg, and that iceberg was cheating. And they were like, port, let's turn to the left, and they hit it, man. They hit it, and they couldn't. It was too slow. They are like 6 months to a year out on development, and to fix something like this, even if they put it in the works a year ago, for the cheats. The things that they put in for cheats before Grand Arena, the stuff that they put in didn't work, obviously. So now they got to put in a whole new plan of action, and that could take another friggin' year. So it took a year for them to develop those new tools and techniques to find cheaters, but the backlog is really the biggest problem. Even if they had the best tools in the world that tracked all that, they still have a report of thousands of people they have to go through every single one and verify. They can't just do flat bans. That would be unethical, really. So I don't know, man. It's difficult. So people ask, how should you mod Padme? So Padme can be modded a plethora of ways, but for me, because I'm going to be using it in probably Territory Wars, Grand Arena, I am going to mod her with speed and tenacity as the sets. Tenacity never hurts, definitely. And then I'm going to do a speed arrow. And then I have crit chance. Not that she needs that, but it was that or defense. And defense makes no sense. And then I went health primary and health primary. She needs a lot of health. It really benefits with her leadership ability because of the health regeneration. So if you look here, light side allies have additional max health. So it goes off of their max health and then it goes up by 50%. If she has 10,000, she now has 15,000. So the higher the better, which is why you go health primaries. I have her on a speed set. She's almost 200 speed. That will help her go. I probably will be facing teams that have, General Grievous now and other characters that are faster, and that's okay. She doesn't need to be faster than all of them, but she does still need to take a turn more than like 4 times in a battle. So I got to get her speed up relatively, and then I can work on the other stats, but she's going to be slower, and that's okay. You actually want her to be slower. Mine's a bit squishy though, so I really probably won't go against something that's faster until I get her abilities a little bit higher. I do need to max this out because even though I have some Gear 11 and Gear 12 characters I can play under her, her leadership ability really needs to, get as high as I can possibly do it. Graceful Assault's pretty awesome. That one's a really good one to do. And then Cunning Plan. Both of these are amazing because there's so much health recovery. This is where you're going to be able to use her against General Grievous. Save this until he AoEs and then boom, use this and they all recover. Also, you can cleanse the entire team of all those debuffs, which is really, really nice. Yep. And then, of course, always a choice. This unique eventually, obviously, is going to have to get, maxed out. This is pretty great. Again, I wasn't planning on having her today. I can't even believe I didn't see the writing on the wall. Super
you were
surprised.
subconsciously farming them. You were subconsciously doing it. You just knew in the back of your mind it had to be something, and just your overactive ability was just kind of kicking in there going, no, we know you're not paying attention right now, but just keep doing this. Somebody made a great point. I think it was Nightmare just got buried there, but he said Jar Jar's AoE ability will be to trip and fall. I agree. Either way, they're going to bring him in as a light side character initially, which is just stupid because, let's be honest here. He is Sith Lord or Darth Jar Jar, whatever you want to call him. He is evil. He's the reason that Palpatine came to be. He's horrible comic relief in the worst way. I just can't say enough how much anyways, the... Frank Brown said, could Hondo be the first neutral character? Yeah, I could see that. He's pegged himself as such things,
He did help light side and stuff, but ultimately I think pirates are going to be labeled dark side. I really do. I don't know, but
that's their first thought.
They did add a neutral tag, like well over a year ago, and we have yet to see a neutral character. So kind of interesting that they did that. So I would be interested to see where they go with that.
Mm-hmm. A few people were confused by my thoughts on Padme Zeta. Would you agree with that assumption that, ooh, dang, 5 at a time. That's a character that doesn't like to drop too much.
They are a young man.
So would you say that I need to retract that statement that the leadership Zeta would be the first one to go for over the unique for Padme? Or would you agree?
I'll have to take a look at him again, but I remember on my main account, the first thing I did was I gave her leadership ability. Whenever there's a leadership Zeta, not always, but many, many times the leadership Zeta is the one to do first because it impacts the entire team in a very, very positive way. If you notice, I just did another Zeta today earlier, and I did Geo Brood Alpha, and I did his unique first, not his leadership. His leadership gives extra damage. That's good to the whole team. However, his unique gives him an extra character. That's an auto-taunting tank that helps with equalization to keep them all alive longer. That can die and be regenerated and die and be regenerated. It's the zombie. It's a full health, full protection zombie that helps equalize against everybody that's auto-taunting. And even if they kill it, doesn't really matter because you can bring it right back. So for him, it makes more sense. I'd have to read her 3 Zetas again, or her 2 Zetas again, to fully remember whether her unique is better than her leadership or not. But off the top of my head, I'm thinking leadership first, then her unique. But I'd have to kind of go backwards and take a look.
Yeah, I raised a few questions there, so I just want to make sure I wasn't leading anybody astray. I'm all about retractions. I'm not CNN here. So Vern just unlocked Treya. In your opinion, what is the best defensive Treya team for Grand Arena at the moment, assuming your opponent is not cheating?
Aside from the cheating thing, which is the what?
In your opinion, what's the best defensive Treya team for Grand Arena?
The Treya. So I use Treya on offense, and I feel like everyone should, because now that there's Geo Bugs, you can use them to get 60 points against the Geo Bugs. You can use them to kill First Order. You can use them to kill CLS. You can use them to kill Darth Revan. If you go into Revan and lose, you can take Treya in and clean that up easily. It's a cleanup team. You can use it against JTR. You can use Treya against Night Sisters. It is it's like the second best, other than Padme, it's like the second best Swiss Army knife of things. So for a defensive team, I would probably do the triumvirate with Sith Assassin and Sith Trooper, just because I would be using Sith Marauder in my Sith Empire team. And Sith Assassin will make the whole team faster. Sith Trooper underneath triumvirate is just stupid, crazy good. So that's what I would do. But I really honestly would discourage from putting that on defense unless you think they absolutely unequivocally can't get through that. And then build the wall. But don't build the wall unless you're confident that it's going to, if you're not confident it's going to stop anything, then, why would you do it, kind of thing. So that's my thoughts.
People are asking about the best Padme Grand Arena defense team as well. Grand Admiral Haldo is interested. And I'll throw a quick mention to Patrick Olson there. Does Sureshot think Jar Jar will be Malak for light side? Shut up.
So Padme is, you've got 4 characters that you have to run with Padme. Really, you really should be running the 3 that gain synergy with her. So that's Ahsoka Tano, the Snips, the little one. Anakin. Although some people peel Anakin away for the JTR team. But Anakin potentially, and then General Kenobi. The 4th and 5th could be any number of Galactic Republic. Some people actually swap for their Jedi Knight Revan team. They'll take Yoda and put Yoda on Galactic Republic, and then put their Anakin on their Jedi Knight Revan team, because that's pretty cool. It works really well. So you can do a flip-flop there. You could have C-3PO on there. You could have 5s on there. Very tanky, speeds the whole opposing team down because his basics. Speed down nonstop. And so there's a lot of combinations, but really Snips should be there. General Kenobi should be there. More than likely, Anakin should be there. And or Grandmaster Yoda. You got to have a damage dealer like that. So that would probably be the teams I'd be looking at.
You're optimal. Optimola. I'm seeing some comments here about thanking RNGesus for giving them a 7-star Padme. Did I miss something, guys? What did RNGesus bless us with today? Maybe you can re-comment that one. Oh yeah, Nightmare I think asked this earlier. How are you liking Wat Tambor so far, and which team do you see him fitting with best?
So when I first got him, I spent the first 24 hours doing a bunch of battles. I went against Sith Empire. I used him on a Rebels team. I used him on a droid team. I used him on a Sith Empire team. I used him on there was 6 teams I tried to use him with. What I noticed every single time is that he's super overpowered, but he also dies really, really fast and doesn't get out all of his abilities out. He gets 2 of his abilities out before he dies, even at 4 stars. He's just, to me, not viable at 4 stars. And at the highest level, one of the things that they said was you could use, in a Separatist team, him in a Separatist team. The problem is, even with the Zeta and modded correctly 4-star, he's just so easy to kill. And so he gets that bonus turn, he gets an ability off, but and then he gets another turn because he's pretty fast. So he can get a couple of his abilities out onto his team. And those are amazing abilities, but I think that you will see him much more viable and used a whole lot more once he is in there. But I really think his home is going to fall in a droid Separatist team or a Newt lead Separatist team. That's really where I think, because a Newt Separatist lead team with Dooku and stuff really needed another character, really needed just a little more oomph, and he sits nicely with that. The droids already have enough droids. They don't need Wat, and you got to pull someone for Wat, like you'd pull Droideka to put in Wat. So yeah, I really think that there's going to be another Separatist team like a Newt lead that he would work better with.
I guess there wasn't any direct reference to that. RN Jesus is just here to bless the masses. Thank you for the thank you for the clarification. I appreciate you. Now, can you work on my drop rates specifically for the characters of? Actually, I could definitely use some help on my Wicket right now, man. That guy just, you've heard the term drop like a rock. Well, I like to use the term drops like a balloon because, especially a helium-filled balloon, it either doesn't drop or he just does this number for a while till eventually it bounces a few times and never really fully drops. So, yeah, I'm having a hard time with that one. So a little help there would be appreciated. Oh, yeah, that's a good question. For Wat Tambor, do the abilities drop when he dies? Pretty sure most of his things say during the whole
yeah, once he gives them an ability, they have it for the rest of the encounter, and he, like I said, takes a bonus turn before everyone else, even Han Solo, and he places that ability. He's got a couple of really great ones. Actually, all 3 of them are insane. It turns a character into a legendary character. It's pretty awesome. So he puts one on, and then he's really fast. You can get him to 300 speed pretty easily, and so he gets to go pretty quickly a second time and place another ability, and he prioritizes correctly. So if he's placing a protection regeneration where tanks taunt, if they have this, it goes to a tank that taunts, so that way it provides that. It properly targets a tank for that tanky ability. For an attacker, it properly prioritizes the damage dealing mod to a damage dealer in the lineup. So it does a really good job of prioritizing. I just really feel like we're not going to see him a whole lot in Grand Arena, Territory Wars, Arena, anything like that for a little while, because people either don't have him or they have him so low, 4 stars, that he's just not quite viable yet, even though his abilities are amazing. It'd be kind of like having Hermit Yoda on the team and then Hermit Yoda dying pretty quickly. Right. Well, what's the point? If he's dead and is not there to be able to regenerate health and protection and do his master's training, he's kind of pointless, right? Well, same is true with Wat Tambor. If he's dying before he gets that second or third ability off, kind of what's the point? So I do see him in a lot of different teams, and to be honest, he's plug and play. You can literally put him in any team that you have 4 strong players, put him in there and he makes that team, those 4 other players, even stronger than they originally were. But he obviously has some baked in synergy with the Separatists, the Geos, droids, things like that.
It'd be a cool little caveat for characters like 3PO, like Wat Tambor, Hermit Yoda. If you were to bring them into a Grand Arena battle, it would count as bringing in an undersized battle or an undersized team, because technically they're not doing any damage. They are obviously throwing on buffs. They're doing great things for it, but not that I think that should happen. Just would be a cool little caveat to know that if you were to send a team in like that, you would get a little notch for having an undersized squad going in there to take them out. Just a thought, Capital Games. That one's for free. You don't have to pay me anything for that one. Do you still do roster reviews? Grand Admiral Haldo wants to know. Yep. Still does that on the alt. Join up on his Patreon, get in the queue of line for that, and you could have your account on there too. Dearth Moose, Sup Warrior, all the way from NZ.
Nice.
New Zealand. New Zealander. What they call it? No, I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth there. I was going to make a comment, but I don't think that was a safe one to bet, so retracted. Jesus. Can I work on my sacrifices? What exactly do you constitute as sacrifices? We all know that debit, MasterCard, Discover all don't count as sacrifices, so I'm not sure exactly what else I can do here. DebTub Warrior, is Clone Wars Chewie worth gearing for a Padme team? I would say he's at least got some place there, but not your best bet, right?
Actually, Clone Wars Chewie does have a place, but less with Padme. I would say he actually works really well in Territory Wars in Grand Arena as a leader of a defense team using scoundrels. Using scoundrels for sure, like L3 under him is so difficult to beat. Vandor, Chewbacca under him is so difficult to beat. Like the extra defense is just stupid on those characters that have so much defense already. Zalbar, stupid underneath Chewie. I've gone against a couple of those teams where the team doesn't do any damage. You can't die, but you also it takes 5 minutes to chew through the team. And you have to know what you're doing and go quick because the defense is so high that everything you're doing is just not doing anything. So those are, that's a pretty awesome team. And you don't want to use your triumvirate against it because there's so many other teams you want to use the triumvirate against. So it's a really great team. I will tell you, teams like that, don't take your geos against because they gain more than they lose with that. Although Spy can one-shot stuff. So Spy ultimately can work through it. I used my geos against Cartho Nassi team and one-shot Zalbar. I used it against the First Order team and I one-shot Kylo Ren Unmasked and I one-shot Kylo Ren. And you know how high their defense is. Their armor was 50% and they had 60,000 health. And it was just done. So Spy really is that the secret weapon on that team. So make sure he has really, really high offense, crit chance, and crit damage. And man, I will tell you, that thing is, he'll ramp up pretty amazing.
Nasnikta, gotta agree with you there. I missed the any 3+ Chase days. I remember when I got Baze 7-starred and had to work him up. I had to do it the hard way because I didn't have the event when I joined the game. So when I actually got him, it was through hard farming and occasional crystal expenditure there for his shards. So once he became my Gear 12 Chase combo, my Biggs Wedge combo is what plugged right in there along with R2-D2, and that was my arena team for a while. That got me up into the 200s for a little bit, and that's the highest I've ever been in my Shards arena. So I miss those days as well. Kind of, I like that they're still back there for some utility work once in a while, but to see them come back to the forefront again would be kind of cool. Although not gonna place any bets on that one. Let's see. Eric H. want to know, are there any counters to one-shot a Gear 13 Malak team if they don't have any Gear 13 or tunes over 250 speed? Oh, okay. So that's a good caveat there. If they don't have any other characters over at Gear 13 or over 250 speed, is there a possibility to one-shot a Gear 13 Malak team? Because I guess he's questioning a loss that he had. I'm not too surprised by it, really.
Are there any counters to one-shot a Gear 13 Malak team if they didn't have any Gear 13 tunes or any characters over 250? It depends on your speeds, but probably not. Really, the Jedi Knight Revan counter is probably one of the more stable counters, if you want to even call that. It's not really that stable. Padme team is one of the most stable counters, and both of them do not win 50, they win less than 50% of the time, and speeds are critical. But remember, some teams get bonus speed. So if he's doing Jedi Knight Revan and his Jedi Knight Revan is 249, he effectively gets 40 extra speed. He's now 289. So is your Malak team slower than 289? Because if they are, then probably there's a potential. So it depends on where you're at. You report them for cheating, they're going to go on a list of 5,000 other cheaters, and eventually in 6 months they'll ban that guy. But like I said, they need to put more resources into the people who are going through all of these reports so they can get caught up for sure, man. I really hope they can get caught up on that.
Mm-hmm. All remains to be seen situation. Nightmare, do you think we should get bonus points for defensive holds in Grand Arena? I'll take that one. That would be cool. But I think the primary thought behind that, maybe it wasn't their thought, but I think what's being used for now is just bragging rights amongst your guild mates. Because, I mean, really, they sit there and see, 8, 9, 10 defensive wins. They think, all right, cool, you're just chewing up good teams that aren't going to go back towards the rear defenses. So I would say that's just going to stay as a bragging rights thing. I don't think they would ever give us defensive win points for that, because I think it would just be too much of a big rework for them. And again, we keep on talking about the backlog they have to go through now. So good luck on that one in the future. In the meantime, yay, look at how much my CLS team held back. Woo! Warrior, what is your focus? Telperian 1 wants to know your focus for fleet right now on your main for the future. So probably in reference to new capital ships coming up, and obviously you're a ships guy.
What's the question?
What's your focus for fleet right now?
My focus for fleet on my main account is nothing. I have no focus. I'm just using rebels, honestly. I think that obviously I'm chewing away at trying to get the capital ship that's available with the currency just so I can get it and try it and see what's what. But, stuff doesn't change in ships a whole lot, which is one reason why putting your eggs in that basket is a smart idea, because once you're at the top, you kind of stay there forever. Whereas the other arena, you could have a meta shift like Malik, and all of a sudden you can't get into the top 50 when you were number 1 every time. So it's crazy. So definitely, I mean, I'm trying to just keep everything unlocked and go as far and fast towards anything that's new content. The new Vulture droid guy is really pretty cool. If you run him with Geos, it's pretty amazing because the Geos call assists with him. He resets all of those little droid bug things that they put on the ships. It can shoot through a houndstooth stupid fast. Geos, the only thing they couldn't do is go through like a fully maxed out houndstooth. That Vulture droid makes it to where they can go against a fully maxed out houndstooth. So, it's basically, and when he comes in on reinforcement, if Spy calls on reinforcement, Spy can choose someone other than Houndstooth, and the Vulture droid assists, and it's chaos. So it's really, really great for people who are free to play, who I've suggested go Geos, who were just given the Vulture droid at 3 stars. They can max that ship out right away because there is no character. It is squishy. You got to kind of protect it, which Sunfac is actually one of the best ship tanks in the game. It's the second best tank in the game, in my opinion, because it's the tankiest. It takes the least amount of damage, has the most health and protection, and other than Houndstooth. So it's like literally tank number 2, and that's the tank that's going to protect it. Plus, it has disruptive taunts, so it prevents people from targeting who they want to target. Is if they're getting buffs, they're constantly having to focus on Sunfac instead. So really great. By the way, this was super painful. I tried really, really hard. I won at a minimum. I won 2 out of every 3 rounds. A couple of them I had clean sweeps where I beat everybody. And I got all the way into the last level and got to almost Kyber. And in Kyber, I fell short on feats. There's no more feats to be done. If I could do this feat, the last feat, the only feat that's available, it was win 12 Grand Arena battles with an undersized squad. And I did the first one and the second one, but I would have had throughout the month, almost all of my battles undersized. And that's one, just not really a possibility. And 2, it just happens. You've got to have the ability to beat the opponent first and then use undersized. And I used undersized like 16 times. So yeah, I missed by this one feat, but it was kind of an unrealistic feat. And if I would have won just one more time, I would have got it 2 that way. So that was a bit painful to miss Kyber, because Kyber gives Zetas. So that was definitely painful.
Such sweet sorrow sometimes. I know you did good, but then it gets to that point where it's just not good enough. That's the biggest letdown of them all. I would have something to add for that in my Grand Arena, but I've unfortunately been busy enough lately that 3 o'clock hour comes around so quickly. I'm so busy up to that point that 3:30 I go, dang it, and I go check, and very beatable matchups have gone by the wayside because I just didn't participate. I took the time to set all my defenses, but just couldn't fight anybody. So that's been a little bit of a sad story there. But what can you do when you don't participate? There's just Nothing you can do about that, other than not being matched up against guys that have literally 1 million GP more than you, but that's besides the point. So, let's see here. Did you whale out on the Vulture Droid on the main account, Warrior? No. No, I wouldn't. I would say he was, like you said, he's a good plug-in for the Geos, and it's nice to be able to call his assists as squishy as he is, but that wouldn't be one that you'd want to leap on right now because it wasn't a Millennium Falcon, it wasn't a Houndstooth. That's not the new meta, just a great little plug-in there. Yeah, Grand Arena is great, but can also be the most annoying part of swgoh. That is true. You spend so much time getting everything built up for that event, you're all psyched when you go in there, and then you have some weird matchup or somebody that makes you question things when you just get wiped off the board without being able to take a turn. Been there, done that. Sit down. What as a dolphin are the most important things to invest in? I don't know. Invest more? I mean, gear? Yeah, definitely. I kind of feel like dolphins are at that midpoint where they either need to stop spending or spend more in a lot of ways. But if you're going to put that effort in there, then gear.
Don't spend more. Don't spend more.
I mean, really
honestly, they've de-incentivized us to have maxed out rosters for so long that really, if Grand Arena does come back and they fix that and we're able to do Grand Arena in the future, you're really incentivized to have a really fine-tuned roster of only a few teams, 8 teams or so, just completely maxed, and the rest of the characters don't matter. Territory battles most teams can do without you having every single like required character. If you don't have Rogue One team, your guild is probably going to be okay. Obviously, they would benefit from you having them, but really hyper focusing on gearing specific teams so you don't get stuck at like gear 9, 10, and 11 like I am. Put that focus into getting those teams finished to like gear 12 at a minimum. That would really be the benefit.
Yeah, definitely pick and choose those teams that you want or think works best for your situation and hyper focus. I have a hard time with that, depending on the events coming up, because I like all the legendary event characters. I like all the name brand characters. Oh my.
Oh my. So a lot of people are complaining about, viability in their leaderboard and all of that. And while at the top, I have just a bunch of Gear 13 Darth Revens, like a lot of people do, they don't have Malik. That's our lucky that they don't have Malik. But we do have some, you just saw, we do have a lot of different teams in the top 20. I mean, we've got Gear 13 General Grievous, we've got Jedi Knight Revan, we've got Darth Revan. I even saw a Padme team. So we do have, for me anyway, in my leaderboard, while Darth Revan reigns all supreme, there are a lot of teams that can get you in there. I'm, Jedi Knight Revan, I'm behind the curve, of course. I guess I'm ahead of the curve for some people. Because if you look, my team's all Gear 12 except for one. And I can't do anything about that because he's 6. He's 6 star. So, I mean, I can't get him Gear 12 until he hits the 7th star. Although, let's see where I'm at with that and my other characters. So he is, oh, by the way, Commander Luke's Gear 11. I stopped at Gear 11. Him, Chewbacca, and Han Solo are all Gear 11. That's kind of my staging point for like my almost A-level characters, B-level characters that are like almost overpowered. My arena team went to Gear 12. Everybody else Gear 11. I'm shooting for Gear 11 on R2. Zalbar, I want to get to Gear 11. Poggle, I want to get to Gear 11. Let's see. General Kenobi is at 5,800. So 42 more. Pretty, it's still going to take another, 6-7 weeks. Wampa is at 5 stars. I stopped there. Because I'm now going for Hermit Yoda to unlock Hermit Yoda. Let's see. Where is... Triumvirate. I have Darth Sion and Nihilus at 3-star Gear 8. I use them on offense. With Traya, she is Gear 10. Looking to take her to Gear 11. She's 5 stars, and she is 21 away from 6 stars, so 121 away from completion. That is like still another 4 months before I get her, maxed out. And then...
I'm similar boat. I'm like 6, almost 6 star.
Yep.
But like 20 shards away.
And then here's kind of the other characters that are near. And these guys I'm getting without even trying. There's Hermit Yoda, 106 of 145. So, well, we were able to talk about the crazy controversy. We were able to show you where I'm at with all of my stuff. Story time came early with my opinionated story about the whole situation with cheaters. You guys can see what I'm focused on. C3PO 5-star is my next goal. And then I'm all doing the long grind for Sith Empire because they're the best team in the game. So got it all going. We've done everything we can. It's been almost 2 hours now, so we're going to go ahead and cut this off. But I appreciate anybody who came and hung out with us. I'm super excited. I think I'm going to get a 6-star Padme, so that'll be awesome. And yeah, I appreciate you coming on board.
I appreciate you having me.
Make sure you guys, when he launches his channel, to check him out. His is going to be totally different content, probably not Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, although he might touch on it a little bit. Probably be a totally different take. It'll be interesting. So when we do that, we'll let everybody know. I appreciate you guys coming on, hanging out with us. I apologize for the stream earlier at the beginning when we were having some connectivity issues between OBS and Facebook, or I'm sorry, OBS and YouTube. Yeah, whichever one is doing it. I apologize, but I appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for hanging out. And as always, keep your gaming on. Warrior and Sureshot out.